Okay, it's happening. We got attendees starting to flood in. This is awesome. Okay, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our Canadian National Conference call. We have a very special guest here with us today. But before that, I want to spend. Oh, hey, what's up, John? Why don't you come on over? John Victorino is my co-host of the evening. He's dropping by. Um,
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah,
Hey.
yeah. Okay,
Hey.
using this camera, John. And okay, so before we get going, we got a couple announcements for everybody, as usual. So there are a few things that that we would like to announce as a special. Isotonics multivitamin, 30 servings. This was $25. Now it is 737. That's
Wow.
right.
Can I
737.
get
Wait,
some?
This just launched today.
that's the price.
That's the price.
Oh,
That's the
wow.
price. $7.37. The reason for this is we need to clear out some room in the warehouse. And these products are for this SKU. It's getting closer to the expiry date. So
Wow.
we've got Joe Bollier to approve that we can blow this out and give this out as samples. I think that's pretty good. Pretty good way to boost like the sales a little bit. We've also got the product surveys. The baby survey is out. It's on the back office. If you haven't done it, please take the time to do it. And I want to take a moment to mention about the surveys, guys, in the future. This is your business. This is our business. This is the way we give our input to the company so that they can, go out and look for the products that we want, right? So even if you don't use baby products or you don't buy baby products, that's cool. Just simply, click on the survey, answer the first question, say no, and then click next. That's it. You'll be done. So it takes less than 2 minutes to complete the surveys, and please look out for the surveys in the future so that we don't miss them. So we want to get these numbers up in Canada. But without further ado, we want to get into what we're excited about, John. Are you excited about tonight?
Yes.
Yeah. We're getting into our, brief conversation, our Canadian National Conference call. One of the best things about doing this is we get to pick the brains of amazing people. We have somebody that's led the way for us, somebody that we looked up to when we started the
Oh,
business.
come on.
Still look up to,
Too.
absolutely. And she's leading the way in all aspects of life. Ladies and gentlemen, we have director Olivia Lee joining us here tonight. Hey,
Yeah,
Olivia.
that's what we do, right? You cheer for yourself. Woohoo!
Yes. Awesome. Olivia, you just got married not too long ago, right?
Yeah, 2 months, about three, actually three. Yeah.
About 3. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anything interesting like after is married life different?
The funny thing is everybody asks that question, but I'd love to pick on your brain on that part. I mean, so far, still the same.
Yeah. I've gotten used to wearing a ring, so that's the only thing.
Yes, I agree. Yes, this thing, but yeah, I think it's really interesting. It's I went traveling to Seattle for a local
Mhm.
seminar the weekend after, and
Yeah.
they literally announced me with a brand new title and got so much, round of applause. And I was like, oh, if I knew I could get a brand new title just for getting married, I would have done that earlier.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh my gosh.
Seattle, they have a great group out in Seattle. Like with Coy and Lawrence and that group.
Definitely. Yeah, people are really excited to grow. And, the interesting thing you always see is whenever people are, really proactively plugged into GMTSS, that area grows. That's
Right.
just it,
I
right?
love it. You also paid a visit up to Vancouver, right? With and did a
Yes,
little Chinese was it
Chinese event.
Mandarin Basic
Um,
class
Chinese local seminar, I believe.
seminar? Yeah.
Yeah.
And after your local, I flew in, spent some time with our friends out in Vancouver, and they were so blown away by your local when you were there, and it
Oh,
was
thank
yeah. We just wish you'll do an English one next time as
you. English
well.
one, right? Man.
We got to get you back in Toronto. But Olivia, there's a lot of things that I think you're excellent at. But one of the things we want to talk about tonight is your ability to get new names and not just like getting new names, but also getting like just going through the reps and getting the finding the right people through this. How do you do it? What's your process? How do you get new contacts? Do you have something you fall back on, or your favorite approach?
Okay. So I think this is obviously everybody's challenge in the very beginning, but once you get the hang of it, it's actually the best part of this business, right? That's where you get to really have fun.
Yeah.
It's like reality TV show, but played in real life daily, right? You hear the weirdest excuses, but you also meet the most awesome people. So, but in terms of getting names, I personally just really enjoy, face to face. That's still my top priority.
Me too.
I do appreciate the social media aspect. I appreciate the convenience and all, but I'm sure you all can agree as well. Sometimes you just have to make it inconvenient for yourself in order to really see some more growth, right? So, but getting names, number one, I think first you have to positive affirmation with yourself, right? I do that with myself before I, go out the day, because recruiting used to be my challenge. And, whatever we lack in skill sets, we can obviously make it up by number. So that's a huge tip for a lot of our new franchise owners who may not feel that this is something within their comfort zone. They can definitely just, you gotta convince yourself, fake it before you make it, but really, people enjoy making new friendships. So if you really do the positive affirmation, who am I gonna really, empower today? Whose life am I gonna change today? Whose day I can just put a smile on somebody's face. That's
Wow.
if that kind of mentality, people obviously have fun with the process.
Yeah.
And number one thing is you gotta have fun with the process.
Have fun with it.
If you don't have fun, then people can sense it, people can smell it. And if you're not having fun with what you do, then why should I even be interested in what you do?
That's
So
right.
that energy definitely is contagious. And another thing that I like, obviously, direct approach. And I usually filter people, qualify these people pretty quickly. So because people are wondering, what makes you so extra friendly, and especially us living in New York. And by really talking in theme, I love Dennis Franks and Jim Winkler's new video and audio on the talk in theme.
Yeah.
It's been updated with the new, shopping annuity theme and, the social branding, the one-to-one marketing. So, these themes helps us to stay in control of the conversation. And by asking the key questions, we can really, cut, really just people are wondering, why are you being so friendly? Why are you even trying to connect with me? Then if we can get that point across really quickly and directly, then people actually appreciate the transparency. So I usually find, I call that the 3 C's. Letter C, it's a compliment, right? Obviously, we want to compliment people. And you either start a conversation with a question or a compliment. So compliment is usually easier, right? And then the second C is establish common ground. To really ask key questions and identify areas where you can find a potential hot button, but really establish that rapport. The third C is show that you truly care. So it's really just to listen. I think that's where most people need to work on, is to really own the themes and to practice asking questions. So, I think especially for myself every day, I still monitor myself and just be like, did I really focus on asking questions? Become a pro in asking questions, not a pro on recruiting, right? So, if you become a pro on asking.
You got any books to recommend for that one, for asking questions, or any good resources?
Asking questions, I haven't really found a book that really helps with asking questions in particular, but I do find the sell or be sold has really played a big role for my identity. Just to really position myself by Grant Cardone, basically how we view being on the sales side. How do you value, what you provide? So, that's also the you agree, right? If we don't change our identity, JR always says it's hard to change our actions.
That's right.
So a big shift for me was how do you prospect with posture? And a big thing is identity. Do you value what you offer, what you represent? And if you do value what you represent, then it's almost such a pleasure, right, to offer that to people.
Do you have a favorite place or activity to do to get new names?
Yeah.
Do you go like to?
Hold on. I just want to mention. I really appreciate what Olivia said just now. We're gonna get to that. Sorry.
It's okay.
But
it's okay.
Olivia said, she loves the one-on-one, face-to-face meet. She can easily take advantage of Instagram. You can see, she's got
follow
that. That's Olivia Lee 1023. She's got 15.9 thousand followers on Instagram. Beautifully done. I'd imagine it'd be really easy for you to prospect just with this, like with your Instagram account. But I really appreciate that you said, you still thrive more in the face-to-face. I completely love that. And you got to go through the reps and get better, right? Like not just about doing the same thing, but getting better after each one. But
absolutely.
Yeah, but John, your question was
it was so I know you get names on the regular, but do you have a favorite place or favorite activity that you do to get new names?
Yeah.
Good question. So a good tip is to have a vision of the qualities that you're looking for in your business.
Right.
So, obviously when our team started, we were, young, wet behind the ears, same for you and your team mostly. And, so at one point I had to identify what kind of people do I want in my team. So, people with sales management background, people with, entrepreneurial characteristics, or people who had young professionals who's had, some sort of discipline or professional training. So, identify the areas, then it becomes so much easier for you to attract those people. So I tend to usually just, you really do go out and about and to really pay attention and the 3-foot rule. But, I don't believe in going to a certain place just to, talk to people, because that's almost like a chore. However, I do find that service areas, for example, if you're going for, whether it's doctor office or going for a service, or, have a reason to start a conversation. And restaurants and these service type of places is still my favorite, I think.
Right.
And then the cold prospecting sometimes on social media, since you mentioned, I just go very direct, whether it's beauty professionals, fitness professionals, local entrepreneurs, then just introduce yourself that fits that industry and, just connect professionally.
Right. So you use like a hashtag to find people and stuff.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. Hey, can we do a quick role play here? Let's say John's a server at a restaurant, and
sure.
And you notice he's dressed really sharp, and you're eating at the restaurant, and
right.
How would you strike up a conversation?
So
you're the waiter. Yeah. Waiter, do something. Wait.
Okay, so you're the waiter. Okay, so then I'll probably be like, "Wow, you're so well dressed for apparently, being a waiter. I mean, are you going to places? Are you like a DJ by night? I mean, what do you do?"
I do design on the side. I just bust tables so then I can have enough money to go to school.
Oh wow, so you're still in school. So is this part-time for you?
Yeah, it's part-time for me. Yeah, I'm in school for design right now. Yeah.
What? Sorry, I missed that.
I'm in school for design right now.
For graphic design. Cool. What type of graphic design?
Making websites.
Awesome. So then what do you see yourself doing, full-time or career-wise with that degree? Do you plan to own your own business?
I'm kind of scared just because it seems like there's not that much jobs in graphic design. But yeah, I'm probably gonna get into business probably, hopefully. Yeah.
Right. I happen to know a lot of graphic designers and people who obviously who are successful make great income in their career, but there are people who do complain about the competition because there's so many. And but I mean, so what made you think about working in this area? This restaurant in particular, do you live in the area?
Yeah, I live like down the street, but it's just more for money. I'm just doing it just, regular 9 to 5 kind of thing. Or I guess it's 5 to 10 now because it's late at night. So
Wow, that's incredible. Well, you have a beautiful smile, great personality.
thank you.
Yeah. Well, actually, I don't know if you do keep your options open, but actually you are working, so I'm gonna keep it really brief. But actually, I'm expanding my business in this area, and we've been looking for people who are really hardworking, entrepreneurial, and obviously people who's got a great personality like you. And I love to connect, and we can't promise you anything, but we are looking for people to help us grow a very successful internet-based business in this area. So if you do keep your options open, I'd love to stay connected. And next time I'm in town, maybe we can grab coffee.
Yeah,
Oh
sure.
my God. Okay.
Yeah, sounds fair. Okay.
That was really
You've
good.
done this before. Oh my God.
Sorry,
All
I
right.
just read my script.
Oh, she had a script with her. No, she doesn't have a script, guys. She's done this thousands of
Yeah,
times.
a lot of
I,
reps.
I love those lines that you use. Like, it really sets the posture, sets the tone, right?
Mhm.
Do you keep your options open? We're expanding our business. We can't promise anything. These are great things to throw in so that, when people take a look at the plan, it's not like you're chasing them down, which
Yeah.
that's not what it is at all.
Mhm.
We're at a point where we want to find quality, qualified people. I also love like how she pulled out, she pulled out another compliment in the middle just to,
Yeah,
spice
that
it
she
up a
used
little
at
bit.
the end too. That was
Yeah,
really good too. Yeah.
yeah,
Personality, nice smile. And
that's right. Yeah.
hard
Now,
worker.
if you're a guy doing it to a girl, that kind of come off a little bit different. So be careful, guys. With nice smile. Yeah.
Exactly. Just practice, nod, and smile.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Olivia. That's awesome. Love. That's amazing. We got to see, see that in action. But so I understand, like, just from watching, we grew up watching your group, like, as in grew up, as in we grew our team watching your group. We're still trying to keep up and follow in your lead. Now you've got a really strong team culture in a sense that meetings are essential. And
Right.
you work directly with the best, like your mom and Amber and them. Like they they've got thousands of people in the Coliseum every time we go for conventions. Like what is it that makes makes everybody want to go to the conference? Like
Mm.
who first of all, who do you think should go to the international convention, and why? Like, why should they go?
That's actually a great question, and you actually pretty much already gave part of the answer in your question.
Okay.
That we're just really grateful that we sometimes joke that we were born into a rich family in this business, not rich as in the money, but rich in culture. So we're so grateful that Amber, my mom, Miss Min Liu, Johnson, and many of the pioneers from the team Flushing have really set the right tone about tickets and training. So it's I think who should be going to international convention. Um, Basically, if you do want to succeed in this business, you have to go. And a lot of people say, well, you guys promote tickets so much from the second I get in to the if I hear one more time about the ticket, I might really puke, right? So but they don't understand that our business at the end, we're not in this just product or sales or internet marketing. We're really in the education business.
Hmm.
And are we are here to focus on empowering people, and we build people up so that people can build their business up, right?
Hmm.
So in our business, um, really how many people we can plug into the education system is going to determine our team's overall success. So it doesn't matter what your previous background, how successful, masters, PhDs, professionals, doesn't matter where you came from. But in this business, it's the education of our basic 5 level, right? So who should be going? For new partners or new people, you're probably interested in this business, but you haven't really identified your burning desire. And let's all be real here, until you see the real potential or, have a crystal clear goal of why you must build this business, then this is just the second or the third or the fourth priority. And that was the same case for me. My mom started this business. I've seen how successful she was. House, car, American dream all came true, including my college tuition at Columbia University. But at the end, I believe the business worked because it did work for her. But I didn't believe that it can work for me. And I couldn't even relate to what this business can offer to me. So coming from finance, 6-figure, is this really necessary? I didn't even understand the residual income versus the temporary income that we all make from a corporate America job. So, it's just that you can't borrow someone else's vision, even including you living up, growing up in this income. So for a new partner, number one, you don't want to waste your time, right? You don't want to waste your time by not knowing what the complete picture is. And you're going to stay home and think about, should I go to training? Should I really, this could be, I used to choose karaoke or steakhouse over Market America events. And that's because I didn't know what this business can offer to me. But once I went to the conference, seeing that entire entrepreneurship, the leadership from the company, the corporate team, the success will breed more success. So it really inspired me to think about what if. I never thought about what if I could have all the time, 365 days, all to myself, right? Retiring young. These ideas never happened until I got to that environment. So, if you're new, number one, you need to make sure that you have that solid belief in the company first, but also in yourself. And so these two beliefs, and when you get to the convention, believe also in the team, because at the end, it's a team-oriented business. And how do you surrender completely to the team culture, to the, to the belief that we all share together? You have to be present. So for new partner, honestly, don't waste your time. You go, you will know, do I want to give 80%, 60%, 100%? And, if same for us, we don't want our new people to waste our time. So it really is a two-way street, right? And for people who are already, actively building in this business, and if you're really going out on franchise owner, you're burning the fuel even faster. So, we need to go back, recharge, but most importantly, reset, to really reset our passion a little bit. I think in this business, whenever we go through the routine, then people forget that excitement, that passion. So, our skill sets continue to grow, but sometimes we lost our passion. So you got to get there to reset that passion and also refocus, right? Refocus. So, life gets busy. So don't let life, don't let your reason of starting this business kind of steal your dream away. It's a lot of people started because they wanted to retire young. Then they focus on what they don't want. And in this business, the conference, the convention, that environment helps us to stay focused on what we want. And again, nobody can train another person to success, to a 6-figure ongoing income. Only a system can. So, if people deviate away from the system, then you really found yourself the best job, of training or helping other, not creating leverage. So, getting yourself there. My mom, them, and Miss Minlu, Amber, they always have a few thousand people there. If you count the production they get to have, 3-4 days per person, that's 9,000 days if you have 3,000 people there. And average person production per year is 250, 300 days of working. And 9,000 days divided by 300 days, you had 30 years of production in that one weekend. How do you produce that kind of time? Yeah.
Holy crap! And so even you still need to go and reset your passion, right? Like I know I gotta go
Me
for
too.
me too.
Yeah.
You know.
Absolutely,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Isn't that
And
weird?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
What?
almost like you're so afraid. That's a success mentality. You're so afraid of missing or losing any potential information that can bring you another success. And what if I miss that information?
Right.
So you got to get addicted with growth. I think
Yeah.
that's one thing to pursue, which is that addiction for growth and addiction for information, right?
Right.
Mm.
Yeah. I love it. Okay, so what about like I'm sure you've got partners that have other responsibilities like you've got small kids, young kids at home, or can't take time off work, got exams like somehow like the February one. Usually it's during midterms or something
Yeah.
like that.
Mm.
So how what do you say? Like
Again, focus on what you want.
what you want? Hmm.
And, a lot of the times, in order to achieve what we want, we always hear that you have to overcome obstacles and overcome your own excuses, right? And sometimes what we want the most is usually what we have to give up the most at this present moment.
Mm.
And if you wanted more time freedom, 2 to 3 year plan is supposed to be your hardest working time because you're trying to buy your freedom back, right?
Mm.
And you're making two sources of income most of the time when people start part-time with Market America. So, if that was the case, it should be your hardest working time.
Mm.
And if you wanted, that to be able to provide for your family or for children, it's that's what you most likely have to give up to spend maybe less time temporarily now, but that is the urgency and the motivation,
Mm.
for us to really achieve it faster. So, I think everyone's got different problems. Sometimes we really do care, but we can only show that we care by helping them to achieve their goals in this business. If
Absolutely.
we only care about their problems, the problem always is going to be there.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And honestly, I tell sometimes the people that I really care about, I say, I can't help you solve your problem.
Mm.
It's just like I can't be home and help you babysit. I can't be home and solve your, whatever issue, but we are going to be here to help you, to really push harder to work around it. However, you have to know what you truly want. And if the desire is stronger and burning, then
Mm.
you're more willing to overcome that obstacle.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
it's really,
I
let's
love
put
it.
it this way, it's really worth it.
Yeah. I love what you said about you can't teach somebody. No one person can teach somebody to make the six-figure ongoing
Only a
residual
system
income.
can.
Only a system
That
can.
was great. I love that.
Oh my God, golden nuggets here. Okay, Olivia, we're gonna run through what we call our lightning round. So a couple of us have asked, sent in some questions, and some of them are here. They're here on the call, so they
Right.
are listening. And as we go through these questions, let's try to answer them, just off the top of your head. First question's from Jen Mickey Lamb. It's what was one of your biggest obstacles when your team first started to grow, and how did you overcome it?
Great question. So for a lot of us young partners, when, for example, myself, Michael, Benson, and Wayne, and people started mostly in college, and number one challenge, no money, right? And but really, I think no money happens everywhere. Doesn't matter if you're in the business or when we're 20 years old, we just don't have money, period. So but the business offers opportunity to actually create cash flow. So, it's whether we are willing to leverage these tools. So retail profit, doing wellness events. But it's really a determination again of, do you really want to do what you want? What do you really want? What you say, what you want, right? So that is definitely a challenge. But I think, on the deeper level, I think another major challenge is really focus. I think for younger crowds, it's just, the focus is obviously a big obstacle and lack of credibility, lack of real network. But again, like I said before, these lack of skills can be made up by numbers. So are you willing to talk to more people? Are you willing to, sharpening up our skill sets? So I think if it's on the skill sets level, you just got to be willing to put in the work to do more reps to sharpen up that skill sets, right? If
Love
it's more on the financial side, please do consult with someone that's great on financial management and to create more, but also to save and really control the budget, and keep the main thing, which is get the tickets, get to the trainings so that you can elevate, empower yourself so you can create more cash flow, right?
Yes.
I like the budget.
Love it. Next question. What is your process from a new name to bringing someone on board? It's by John Victor. Oh, this is John Victorino.
Oh my goodness, great question. Do you keep your options open, John? Well, actually, it's a great question. So I do think that prospecting and qualifying is really done by ourselves when we meet the person. I kind of already went over that by qualifying with themes.
Mhm.
But the rest of the recruiting is really done by the system and by the team. So when I usually filter them by very direct questions and establish a friendly but professional relationship. That's what I find. A lot of people go for the really friendly relationship, and then you can never present yourself on the professional side. So I rather do empowering friendship where we present on the professional level. So so then from there, finding a need, providing the solution. But again, the key is just not talk too much, right? I'm only here to connect you with your passion, with your industry. I'm only here to connect you with the people that can help you. So then the goal is to get them to the team, get them to the environment, and then the rest system will help follow up.
I love it. Oh, that's very good
question.
perspective.
Thank you. Yeah, that's good.
The next question is from Pierre Ramsey. What's going on, Pierre? Did you always envision becoming a director from the beginning, or did you take it one step at a time?
Great question. In the first year to a year and a half, I really did take one step at a time. That's why the convention is so important. The first time I went, I was kind of forced to go, right? And by my mom, she called my full name, so I said, sure, I think I need to go, right? And so Chinese moms, And then, so from there on, first time I just got inspired, and I knew that I could gain things from here, but I didn't pay attention to investing in my time into the business. So I chose steakhouse and karaoke over Market America, obviously. But the second time I went to convention, 6 months later, I saw people's growth from presentation, from their just overall ability. So I wanted to invest in personal development. So then the third convention I went to, I started to dream. So I realized I also want my time back. I hated the 45 years now. And I want this to be a real business and a career. So then but then once that mentality switch, you gotta fake it before you make it. You see? So in the very beginning, it's one step at a time. But once you make that switch, the burning desire kicked in. You gotta fake it before you make it, saying, literally like what James and Marion quote always says, I'm a director, I'm a director, I'm a director. So I started doing affirmations like that. Then it's envisioning yourself as a director, then you will be a director one day.
Oh, fantastic. Amazing answer. This is from Nipuna Pereira. What is your favorite way to sell convention tickets to UFOs or guests who have not been before?
Great question. So the best way is always in a team and GMTSS environment. So the best time to sell is really meeting after the meeting.
I love it. Yeah, great answer. And last question from Marianne Claudio. Through the years, we've seen waves of success and a fair share of challenges among UFOs. What are your most valuable tips for helping an organization grow smoothly?
Oh, that's such a broad topic. I think we can make that into a recording topic.
That's right. You gotta get you up for it.
Right? It's very good. But I think in brief, it's really always be plugged in, but also becoming, a driving force of the GMTSS, right? Being that plus, being the value, and to always be, a part of the GMTSS, but also help to expand and build the GMTSS. And then always follow the team. So follow the system first, then follow the team really tightly. And, because this is where the production, the magic happens, but this is also where that's going to help really just, keep the distractions away. But I think overall, having a good culture, I think the if you had to ask me one word, it would be culture. So it's a culture of the tickets, it's a culture of the GMTSS, and it's a culture of strong product believers. I think product has always been a huge thing for our team when we had the slow times. It just the product built that solid foundation, and so doing obviously the master UFO, the shopping annuity, we've heard that all the time, but it's really true. Just if we just did that minimum, right, of the master UFO, it should be the minimum. Then we agree, because the UFO program now is so easy. So that's that should be a mentality of that's the minimum we need to achieve, and then let's shoot for the maximum. So culture, what's the culture? Follow tight, right, with leadership, and to really always think about what can I do more for the team, for the business, and for the GMTSS. So if everybody has that kind of mentality of appreciation, the culture, then it duplicates almost perfectly, right? Because I think everything else, skill sets, everybody learn at a different speed. Goals, everyone's got different magnitude of goals. So how do you duplicate? Then the best thing to duplicate is culture.
Right. And that's how you make it last, right? If I could just add like one thing, like in addition to this, like this question is reading this over and over again. The words grow smoothly rarely ever come together in the same sentence.
That is true. Very true.
I think growth is, there will be pain in growth, just like the top, like success and fair share of challenges. Success comes from challenges. And you've seen it. We've seen it, and so if anybody out there is going through challenges right now, look forward to success, because the challenges are going to position us for growth.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Olivia, you got any closing remarks for us before we end off tonight?
Well, first of all, since you brought up that great point, I think just really focus on growing ourselves. Right? So if we focus on growing ourselves, then we're focusing on the process rather than the results. And like you said, each challenge or failure is really in our mind, right? It's really just a part of the process before we hit that success. So, if we keep that kind of focus on the process of growing ourselves, then you're definitely going to be there. But, I really do hope to see everyone on the webinar. And you make that decision, I'm going to the international convention, and now the question is becoming so much simpler. It's not, should I go, should I not? Because you never find the right answer, right? Once you position yourself to go, then you think about who else can I bring with me? So that's a much more, fun and result producing question to ask. And each one, that's the same goal for me and our team, is to really, the next 4 weeks, right, positioning ourselves, just go crazy with two-on-ones, go crazy with showing the plans, go crazy with getting people in front of the plan. And you'd be surprised how many people are dying for this opportunity, and go for that wild ride, right? Bring more people with us.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you so much for your time,
Thank you,
Olivia.
Thank you both for having me.
Yeah. We're also looking forward to we hope we can feature you, Benson, and Michael on our podcast, Talk Shop. I think that would be a real juicy conversation. But yeah, thanks everybody for taking the time to spend with us here. We are going to be ramping up our Canadian conference calls. So leading up to convention, we'll be having a little bit more. So I'm aiming to get one more out next Monday. And please look on the Facebook group to make sure that you get all the updates. Olivia, thanks again, and hope everybody
see you in Greensboro.
See you in Greensboro.
See you in Greensboro. Thank you guys. Have a great night.
Bye-bye.
Bye guys.